So this is awkward.
Broadcasting live and worldwide from Cortano's mom's basement. WOOO Woo Radio.
In the morning.
I know. Yankum, do we have some issues to deal with this week, or are you just hungry?
I could go on probably a rant for a little bit, but I doubt anyone wants to hear me meander around why I'm not watching wrestling right now. Actually, I think...
I know.
No, actually, I think I've made that abundantly clear that I think the product pretty much sucks right now, and I want nothing to do with it. So I'm going to start looking for other promotions to watch, and maybe I'll come back to WWE in a little while. But right now, I literally can't even. Like, literally can't even.
Yeah, you could make, instead of your kayfabe issues, you could give us an indie rundown segment.
We'll see.
Yeah, this is your assignment. I want you to go find a new professional wrestling, a new version of professional wrestling. Whether it be Puresu, Luchador, European, etc. And I want you to watch something completely obscure and nothing that you've ever heard of before. Okay?
Actually, I was thinking about starting to go to. We have CCW here in Evansville. Very few people, I'm sure, have ever heard of it. But I'm sure if you're familiar with Hulk Hogan, Mick Foley, Jerry the King Lawler, Jimmy the Mouth of the South Hart, and many other famous wrestlers, they all came through here as part of the Memphis circuit. And now we have a small, itty-bitty little promotion that runs in the same Coliseum that occasionally gets people like, Chuck Taylor and a few others.
Okay, say the letters again, because I thought you said Combat Zone Wrestling.
No, CCW, Coliseum Championship Wrestling. It runs out of the Evansville Veterans Memorial Coliseum, which is a nice way of saying bingo hall.
Okay, yeah, you could try that. I was going to suggest something from the Europeans, but yeah, go ahead.
Oh no, I hate Europeans.
Alright guys, this is alright, were the production meetings live on air? Let's go through the Dairy Queen trial. Alright.
Let me say that if any of our listener wants to come on the show and steal Yankum's segment and tell us about some fancy pants wrestling that maybe you know of, I would invite that. If you'd like to come have your own segment on Woo's most somewhat known radio show.
The longest running episodic Woo weekly radio program ever.
Well, I was going to sit down and force Yankum to watch every single match of Jessica Love from CZW, but Fight Club Finland.
That's
Alright, let's do it. Dairy Queen right there. Alright, time for the ratings. Yankum DDS, you were reading the ratings this week.
That's fine. I was going to try and piss some more of our listeners off, but instead, I'll tell you that Impact got a .89 rating with 1.01 million viewers last week. That's up from the previous week's .84 with 993,000 viewers. Despite this increase, it did not rank among the top 100 cable shows on Thursday night. Let's see, SmackDown got a 1.7 cable rating. That's down from the previous week's 1.96 or 2.0. The show averaged 2.322 million viewers. That's less, of course, than the 2.782 of the previous week. This week's Raw drew a 2.9 cable rating with an average of 4.13 million viewers. That's down a little bit from the 2.93 cable rating of last week.
And with the birthdays, Nat Jester. Nat Jester.
I'm sorry, guys, but due to a technical funk-up, I am unable to read the birthdays. Mainly, my stupid-ass Android phone can't do two things at once.
Here's the birthdays. On the 18th.
Hint, hint, Apple. Think different.
I know. Here's the birthdays for this week. Remember, you're a pain in my ass, is what you are. If you hear a dead person and tweet us, you'll win something. Alright, here we go. Happy birthday to Mitsuharu Misawa, Big Vito LaGrassa on the 18th. On the 19th, we have El Kamek, Textbook Tyson Dukes, and Wahoo McDaniel. On the 20th, Coco Beware and Don West. On the 21st, Mancow Muller and Matt Stryker with a Y. On the 22nd, we have Tetsuya Naito and John Tenta, who was Earthquake or Golga. And on the 23rd, Mike Oxyrek.
It must be some obscure indie I've never heard of.
No, just to read that out loud.
Shh, don't, if he doesn't know, keep the kayfabe.
It's a joke!
And now it is time for This Weekend Wrestling with Mega BR.
Yes, this weekend, wrestling history, circa 1982, where one day after losing the World Class America title to Fritz Von Erich in Fritz's retirement match, King Kong Bundy is awarded the title due to the vacation. This was Fritz's 15th and final reign. Jump to 1992, where WCW's Beach Blast pay-per-view took place in Mobile, Alabama, the first of two such events, before becoming replaced with Bash at the Beach. Then Vice President Bill Watts instituted a rule that top rope maneuvers would be an automatic disqualification, citing that he was banning them to make them seem more special and less overused when he allowed them later. Ricky Steamboat defeated Rick Rude in a 30-minute Iron Man match, 4 falls to 3, with Rude being disqualified in the third fall due to the new top rope rule. Dusty Rhodes, Barry Windham, and Nikita Koloff defeated Arn Anderson, Steve Austin, and Bob Eaton, again due to the top rope disqualification rule after Anderson hit a top rope axe handle on Windham, who had just superplexed Austin from the second rope. And in the main event, WCW Tag Team Champions Rick and Scott Steiner versus Terry Gordy and Steve Williams ended in a 30-minute draw. And finally, in 1995, Smoky Mountain Wrestling ran Knoxville, Tennessee at the Coliseum with Jim Cornette and heavyweight champion Buddy Landell defeating Steve Armstrong in a handicap match. The Rock and Roll Express defeated tag team champions Al Snow and Unabomber in an Anything Goes match. The Dirty White Boy and Tracy Smothers defeated USWA Tag Team Champions PT-13 and Headbangers in a non-title elimination match in the main event. And that was this weekend wrestling history.
Time for some happy trails. Happy trails to CM Punk and AJ Lee, who were wed on Friday the 13th. And happy trails to the worst-kept secret in professional wrestling. Pat Patterson publicly came out of the closet with last night's episodes of WWE Legends House. Patterson said he's been living in the closet for 50 years, and that he had a partner for the last 40 years who passed away recently after suffering a heart attack.
Wait a minute. Pat Patterson was gay?
Yep.
I'm not even touching that one.
But all those boys he did... Are all those boys he touched did? Damn it, there was a joke there and I mangled it.
Gee, you think?
Oh my god.
Alright, I will save this by betting Gunner $1 that 1 year from now, CM Punk and AJ will still be together.
I won't take that bet because I agree with you.
Alright, then I'll take the other one. They're gonna split up.
Alright. $1,
$1.
$1 1 year from now.
I'll play middleman.
June 17th, 2015.
Oh my god, I'm just seeing this as one more... I'm just seeing this as one more version of Omega riding fence.
No, I believe that CM Punk and AJ Lee will still be together as of June 17th, 2015, and I will come to collect.
I'll take the third position that they will still be married, but will be separated.
Okay, are you willing to bet a separate dollar?
Yes.
Okay, so we have a...
Alright, we have a three-way with $3.
I like the way you say three-way.
So in other words, if they are still together and they are still married, then we are then I win. If they are not, they are still married and they are separated, Yankum wins, and if they are completely divorced, then Omega wins. Fair enough?
Fair enough.
Agreed.
And I can play this back.
Yeah, you know what to do.
Alright.
All these young prospects at the WWE Developmental Center this past week.
Yep. They got introduced to Pat Patterson. We all know. Bring it all around. Alright, so, what should we watch this week in wrestling? Net Jester.
Well, you know I was gonna go there. The music alone is something amazing. Stardust will have an amazing run and see that match again because whatever mental block was there has been cleared by yellow face paint and the fact that now Cody has given himself over to the Sith.
I would like to see that. Yanko, what should we watch?
Well, since I didn't watch any wrestling this week, let's go with a classic, right? I'm gonna say you should watch. Oh, here's a good one. You should watch One Night Stand from 2000. What was it? 4 or 5?
It was 5, and it was 9 years ago this week.
Ah, see, I knew there was a reason that I picked that.
Exactly. Omega, what should we watch this week in wrestling?
You should watch Walking Tall, starring The Rock.
Why would you do that?
It's gonna come on Spike TV probably half a dozen times this week.
I can't wait to hear the reason for this. Why? You have to tell us why.
Well, because I'm waiting for the show to end, and I was flipping through the channels, and I landed on Spike TV, and a little blurb came up that said Walking Tall is coming up next.
It's a good movie. I saw it in the theater.
I will have to say, of The Rock's movies, that's still sort of at the top.
I did too. I liked both of them. Scorpion King wasn't that good. The movie I think that wasn't that good. His roles in Fast and the Furious weren't bad, and that's exactly what I'm going to suggest this week. Fast and the Furious 6. Because it's really good.
He was in Get Shorty too, wasn't he?
Oh yes, that was fantastic. His character was actually really good. And he played them well. the scene where he acts out the entirety of the back and forth between Kirsten Dunst and Gabrielle Union from Bring It On never fails to elicit a giggle.
Yeah, indeed. All right, that's it. That's enough. We're done with the show. Let's wrap this up with some plugs. I'm going to give you a little update on radio. Right now, we are currently updating our program so that it will play 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and making improvements on it as time goes on. Our quote launch was a kind of a botched attempt, so we're not ready yet, and we're almost ready. Our database is currently being updated. If you want to volunteer your time, please contact us at Radio Woo, and I can give you the details and stuff like that to help us out. We definitely need some WWE themes in there because that's the chunk of it. So that's it for Woo Radio. And that's it for our show. So, thank you very much for listening. You can check out smartsnark.com and smartsnark.com youtube.com/smartsnark to catch all of our podcasts. We're also on Spreaker, spreaker.com/smartsnark, broadcasting live every Tuesday night. Sometimes around 9 o'clock, sometimes we're a little late, but it happens. And we're also... go ahead.
You might have remembered us last year talking about the Fighting Back Wrestling with Cancer charity, which is, of course, in memoriam of Stinky the Homeless Guy and his brief battle with cancer, which he lost. It turns out they are doing that again this year, naturally, of course. The first wave of auctions going to benefit that charity are going to end this weekend, this Saturday, in fact. So if you're listening, head on over to fighting-back.ca, and you can get all the information. You can donate, you can buy a t-shirt, or you can check out the auctions link. They have some nice stuff there, including a Superfan Mega ticket to every show for the next year for many top Canadian promotions, including Interspecies Wrestling, Smash, Battle War, IWS, Acclaim, and C4. They also have some Player Uno and Player Dos ring-worn gear. Player Uno, of course, a friend of the board, one of his old Nintendo-inspired outfits, very nice. They also have a Smart Mark video gift card, gift package, along with some independent DVDs, and the actual ring-used other championship belt from Interspecies Wrestling, if cheap wrestling belts are your thing, or rather, hopefully it won't be cheap, hopefully bid will go as high as it can, but anyway, check those out, of course. And that's just the first wave of things. More things will be added, of course. So again, that's fighting-back.ca, or not a dash, but a hyphen. You know what I mean.
Okay. We're also on Facebook, facebook.com/smartsnark, twitter.com/smartsnark, where Yank and I tweet sometimes when we watch wrestling. And that's it. So thank you all for listening. Take care. Spike your hair.
Isn't he gone now?
No, he's still there.
Okay, so Zack Ryder's still employed. That's a meme now. Woo, woo, woo.
You know it.
Good night, Secaucus.
You don't need to see his identification.
WOOO Woo Radio, live and worldwide on woooradio.org.